Alright, let's talk about crushing blows from my girl Mileena. And let's start off with the base crushing blows. And the first one we're going to talk about is her forward throw, which is very different than how you trigger. I should say trigger. Well, yeah, trigger. Trigger is a good word. Trigger or activate this crushing blow versus the normal generic crushing blow throws. I made a guide on that with a lot of clear details. If you have any confusion whatsoever, watch that guide. It should definitely clear it all up for you. Now, the requirements for this, as I said, is different. I have an issue with this, but it's not the requirements. It's that I just feel like they should give the proper details in the requirements, but you know, maybe I'm asking for too much. But it kind of reminds me of her vanishing move, the up down, where you have to cancel a block, but that's not actually said there. Let's talk about the base requirements first. You trigger this crushing blow if you don't jump for 10 seconds or you haven't been knocked down for 10 seconds. As Mileena, if you're playing as Mileena, if you don't jump for a full 10 seconds or your opponent hasn't knocked you down for a full 10 seconds, this crushing blow will be triggered. And it's a cool looking crushing blow. I really like it. It kind of fits her scariness with all her teeth and all that. Now, additionally to that, what they don't tell you is that you actually can't be airborne in any way whatsoever, whether you jump or not. So if you do a special move like her telekick and you go in the air, that actually will cancel the 10 seconds. Or if you do like her overhead attack, that's considered airborne. That will cancel the 10 seconds. And you have to start the 10-second count all over again. And I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, maybe that's very obvious because she's airborne, but I actually didn't realize this. You know, I was playing a match and I did an overhead and then it didn't work, and I was like, I didn't jump for 10 seconds. So I guess for me, I would like a little bit more clarity, but whatever the case may be, it's a cool crushing blow. This is how it works. Her next base crushing blow is her back 114, which is a mid string. Her back one comes out in 10 frames, so that's pretty good. The range isn't the best. The requirements for this is triggers in a combo 7 hits or more. And I actually love crushing blows like this because her standing one comes out in 8 frames. 8 frames is pretty fast. There are going to be lots of situations where your opponents do something that's -8 or worse, or even situations where your opponent does something and there's a big enough gap for you to interrupt with her standing one strings and basically do something really simple like 1-1 into her ball roll, amplify into her back 114 or something like that. But either way, I think this is a really good crushing blow, and I think this is a very straightforward crushing blow in terms of how to activate and get it. Alright, the last crushing blow for her base crushing blows is her forward 2-3, which is a low mid attack. The forward 2 comes out in I-17, which is a little bit on the slower side. You trigger this crushing blow if you counter or punish a high attack. Very important. Keyword high attack. Okay, now the punish, how that works is very simple. I mean, if you block an attack and then you're able to attack with the 4-2 before your opponent can return to neutral, or if they whiff an attack and then recovery frames and you're able to attack before they return to neutral and block, that works as a punish. And the counter is simply if you just land this attack during your opponent's active frames of their next move or something like that. But it has to be a high attack. So you see Liu Kang here, I'm blocking his flying kick, I punish, high attack, it works. You see Sub-Zero here, I'm blocking his slide, I punish, low attack, it doesn't work. Alright, for variation 1, she has one crushing blow in addition, and that is her low side blast. She basically drops down to the ground and throws out her sides and hits you as a low. You trigger this crushing blow if it is an attack as a counter or punish while ducking under a high projectile. Keyword again, has to be ducking under a high projectile, not just like a regular high attack, which would be very tricky to do in itself anyway. And if you duck under a high projectile and land a single side attack, basically you don't amplify, then the crushing blow won't be triggered. You have to amplify it. It's the amplified side, the second side that comes out while ducking under high projectile, that actually triggers this crushing blow. For variation 2, her crushing blow is associated with her command grab, which I think is an awesome looking command grab. I love how she like sticks you a bunch of times with the side and stuff like that. Quick rant though, I don't understand why some characters have a fluent half circle forward or half circle back for their command grab crushing blows, whereas like Nightwolf and Jax, you know, Liu Kang, these are other characters I play, I have to put in those weird funky inputs like down, forward, back, or weird. I don't know. I just don't understand why they just can't have half circle forwards and back for every character, but whatever. Anyway, you trigger this crushing blow if your opponent does a get up roll forward or back and you land this command grab and amplify. Again, you have to amplify. If you don't amplify the command grab, the crushing blow will not come out. But if they do a get up roll forward or back and you land this and you amplify, it will trigger the crushing blow. Or if you read them doing a breakaway or a fatal blow and you land the command grab, it will armor break and you amplify. In that case as well, you will actually get the crushing blow. Because this works with the forward roll and back roll, sometimes just a quick little tip, I like to mix up her back to overhead, reading if an opponent does a get up kick. Now granted, a get up and attack, I shouldn't say get up kick, get up attack. Now granted, the range of the get up attack sometimes are big enough with Mileena's short range that it will hit, but if you know the character and you know the range isn't that well, the overhead might actually land. So between the two of those with the command grab for the rolls and the overhead too, the overhead, there might be some good pressure on the wake ups. All right, variation 3, her crushing blow is associated with her side slide, and this is the last crushing blow for her. You get this if you trigger it if it's a counter or a punish, and that's a counter or a punish to anything. It's not high Pacific or mid Pacific. Any counter or punish, as long as you amplify, you will trigger and get this crushing blow. Now, how the side slide works, you press down back 1 and you really throw a side across the ground. It comes up in the sky, hits as a mid or whatever. If you hold it, it's extended and it will go further. But if your opponent is not within that range of how far it goes, they won't get hit. When you amplify, it will go in the air and come down, and when it comes down, it will hit as a mid and it will hit wherever your opponent is standing. Basically, it tracks if you amplify. Now, for clarification, unlike the variation 1 low side blast, when you duck under a move and you amplify and get the crushing blow, and you get the crushing blow even if the first attack hits and the second attack hits as an amplified, that gives you the crushing blow. This doesn't work that way. If you actually land a counter or punish and you hit with the first attack, then amplify and then hit with the second attack, it won't trigger the crushing blow. For this to work, you have to whiff the first attack and land the amplified attack as a counter or a punish. Okay, if you land the first attack as a counter punish and then hit with the amplified attack, it will not trigger the crushing blow. The first attack must be whiffed completely, and then a second amplified attack coming out of the sky, which is good that it tracks to where your opponent is, that has to land as a counter punish by itself, and then you will get your crushing blow. Alright, that's the end of my Mortal Kombat 11 Mileena Krushing Blows guide. I believe I covered all of her crushing blows. Now that custom variations are allowed in rank, unlike my previous guides, I will cover every crushing blow when I do a crushing blow guide that is legal in tournament and rank mode. I just think for her, it just happened to be all within her tournament variations here. I didn't talk about the down 2 crushing blows. I never talk about the down 2 crushing blows. They're not unique to Mileena. They're the same for every character. I just don't talk about them. Anyway, if you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. I appreciate all your support. It really, really means a lot to me. This is Acid Light. You guys take care.